Good morning. I'm Dr. Paul Hatherley. I'm here today at the group room at Center for Mental and Emotional Development, CMED. And today's topic is to talk about the fact that internal development, meaning mental and emotional development, is the objective and universal prerequisite to creating lasting happiness for ourselves, intimacy and romantic relationships, competent skills and awareness to be a parent who can raise a child with their internal needs fed and with the developmental tasks that they need to accomplish completed. It's also required for professional satisfaction and meaning. So internal development, as provided by CMED training, is the first time human beings have had an objective and universal step-by-step path to creating internal fulfillment and lasting happiness over an entire lifetime. In the past, happiness didn't even become an issue until human beings progressed from hunting and gathering, where they lived like animals and just tried to survive, to farming, agriculture, being able to raise animals for food, so that they had a little discretionary time, a little more security, longer lifespans, and they began to think about happiness. As civilization has progressed, more and more people have discretionary time and longer lives and enough security to where happiness has become important. The problem is we haven't really understood happiness, so we think about life in survival terms. Survival is all external: food, clothing, shelter. And the only respite from the struggle for survival would be entertainment and pleasure. So throughout our civilized history, human beings have just assumed that happiness is connected to superficial pleasures and entertainments, and that the highest goal of our lives is what we now think of as retirement, where we don't have to work for survival and all our time can be spent oriented toward pleasing ourselves. We have thought that would make us happy. But we have plenty of experience observing people who have everything externally and yet aren't relaxed, fulfilled. They don't understand their own internal needs and potentials, or those of their mate or their children or other people. And instead of becoming really happy, they become really busy, distracting as much as possible into pleasantness in an internal mental and emotional context of being anxious, frantic, insecure in their value, and looking for things they can't really define. Internal development, that means your mind and emotions acquire the skill, the information, objective information, concrete, specific skills, and the awareness that you need to understand and become competent, not just in your external life, physically, materially, financially, socially, professionally, but in your internal experience of self-worth, peace of mind, fulfilling your potentials and feeding your needs so you're satisfied and your life has meaning, and your relationships are intimate and emotionally bonded, and you know what you're doing. You have conscious purposes that define your everyday life. When we expand our definition of happiness to include our internal worlds, then everything changes. Our response to life changes. We respond to life one way when we think that life is about survival, security, success, entertainment, approval. And when we think that life is about becoming conscious, caring, internally competent, and completely fulfilled, where we're looking at the fact that we have a lifespan. And instead of ignoring it until we get a terminal diagnosis, we acknowledge that lifespan means that our time to be alive is limited. And then we consciously respond to that fact by saying, okay, what, if anything, will make my limited time to be alive both internally and externally satisfying and meaningful to myself and the people I care about, and perhaps to the world that surrounds me? Now we bring questions to the party of life. And we want to learn how to think for understanding. And we want to learn how to observe reality accurately and take in the facts that define our lives and define everyone's life. We all are subject to the same four facts. We're born with a body, a mind, emotions, and a lifespan. The fact that we have bodies, minds, and emotions means that we have needs and desires, as well as potentials and developmental tasks that we need to master before we can be fulfilled, learn how to be original, ourselves, authentic, creative, and over time, genuinely happy with this rather mysterious experience of being alive and having our time be limited. So, here at CMED, I offer the internal development or the training necessary for internal development so that each person can begin to expand their understanding of life to go beyond the external, normal things that we live for. The security, the success, the entertainment, the approval, and just generally pleasant feelings. We want to feel good about ourselves. We want to feel like we're valued and desirable. We want to feel that we're safe and secure. We want to feel that other people can recognize our value. And we want to be entertained, and we want to be stimulated and excited. These are all fine, but limited. And we've never had an objective and universal path to expand the arena of our lives from the external to the internal, and to learn how to master both. This is the real source of all internal fulfillment and lasting human happiness. If you're at all interested, I have 7 books that are on my website, and the forwards you can read on the website, and you can peruse my blogs and look at the workshops that I offer. The beginning workshop training program takes into account each major category of internal development. The first is thinking for understanding. That's the foundation. Without thinking for understanding, really no one is able to grow. So once you learn how to observe reality accurately, ask questions, select topics that are truly meaningful, and then explore them to the point of understanding them, And in the process, you acquire the mental tools necessary to sharpen your focus and deepen your insight, so that over time you have a clear and complete mental picture of the significant topic you want to understand. This is what you will start learning in the first workshop. In the second workshop on feeding internal needs, you learn about the mental and emotional needs, separate them from desires. For instance, everyone desires approval. Approval is simply a positive judgment with no real information. Acknowledgement, on the other hand, is what we all need, and acknowledgement takes into account who we really are, the facts of our strengths and our weaknesses, our potentials and talents, and the step-by-step process necessary for us to grow. The next workshop takes into account internal potentials, and there are five universal human potentials that we will define and learn about the first steps toward fulfilling. The first universal human potential would be understanding. No other animal can understand with the depth and degree and past, present, and potential future elements of any topic. The second human potential is caring, the ability to be interested in and give energy to and desire to understand something outside of our own advantage or best interest. The third is mastery, the ability to acquire layer upon layer of skill and awareness, which is what development is. It's not learning one thing. It's learning layer upon layer of skills that develop your understanding and create competence to respond to the unexpected or the ordinary. The fourth potential is to learning how to be creative. Creativity is not really an avenue for animals. It's only for humans. And creativity requires that we be authentic and original in our response to life and in our ability to create truth, beauty, or cities, to learn about nature and develop technology, which we've done. We've done that to a significant degree and improved our external lives. But the tragedy so far is that we haven't improved our internal awareness and understanding to match our external power, tools, and weapons. And the fifth human potential is to contribute to the lives of other people and to the development of our species. Fulfilling all five potentials is needed. In the third workshop, you'll learn about how to define and the steps toward fulfilling your human potentials. The fourth workshop is devoted to completing, defining, understanding your developmental tasks from childhood through old age. And the fifth workshop is just putting it all together to really understand, probably for the first time, the full dimensions of internal development that are necessary to create happiness. If you're interested, check out my website and the books. There are also videos on the website on CMED training for individuals and couples, therapists, and there will be for parents, teachers, and businesses. Also, at the moment, there's a video introducing the Thinking for Understanding workshop, and soon there will be videos introducing each one of the workshops. So check out my website, paulhatherley.com, I also offer individual sessions, and see if perhaps internal development might be something you would really be interested in. Have a good day, and hope to see you next time.